Number 18 Baylor wins basketball lost to unranked Indiana, 73-65. And I knew this was going to be a tough game because Indiana crushed Stanford. And that could have been a lot worse. And yet this is the same Indiana team that lost to Butler. And they lost to Harvard, in which Harvard lost to Quinnipiac pretty easily. We'll see about the rankings and all this. So Baylor was actually up in this game one time, 2-0. After that, Indiana took the lead and never gave it back. Yes, it got tied, but never gave Baylor the lead. And at halftime, Baylor was only down 37 to 33. Despite a 15-point deficit, they came back to make a 4-point difference. Second half, Baylor scored 32 points while Indiana scored 36. Clearly not enough points to get either stops or scores and to win the game or let alone force overtime. And I'm going to just only go over like the last minute of the game, 30 seconds of the game to give some context. And I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. And I do know that Baylor is dealing with a depth problem right now with the loss of Jan Van Guybeek. That is really hurting them right now. But they're going to get Leah Mataru starting conference play. And the best time for the team is going to peak is February. So I'm not out on this team at all. Because there's still plenty of games left. And it's only November. And they're going to have time to fix all their problems. And I think depth is one of them. And they're going to have more depth once Aaliyah Mataru comes. And the fortunate news for them is they do have another game in the Battle for Atlantis. And then like a potential top 10 UCLA team at a neutral site. But that's later on in January, I know. But you get the point. And they still have all their conference goals ahead of them, too. So, okay. Enough rambling about that. I just want to make clear, and I know Indiana had 2 starters get hurt in this game, but still credit to them. So it could have been. It was really interesting around 29 seconds left when Yardan Garzon from Indiana fouled and Jay Walker went to the line to made both free throws 66-60. Indiana called timeout. Of course, Yaya Felder from Baylor fouled, and Lexus from Indiana made 1 free throw out of 2. Baylor Farmer got defensive rebound around 22 seconds left. Jay Walker made 11 to make it a 5-point game, and obviously Wyatt Jennings, aka Wise Jennings, fouled, and Shea went to the line for Indiana and made both free throws to make it 69-62. Yaya Felder made a 3 around 11 seconds left, assisted by Jay Walker to make it 69-65. Jay Walker had to foul. I mean, you got to extend the game out. And Shea went to the line for Indiana and made both free throws, and Baylor called timeout. But there was an offensive foul, legal screen on Aaronette Vonleh for Baylor, and that pretty much ended all the chances for potentially making it more interesting, to say the least. And of course, Jay Walker did foul around 4 seconds left, but at that point in the game, I would have just said, forget about fouling. The game's out of reach. You're not going to win or tie this thing. And Shea went to the line for Indiana and made both free throws. Jay Walker made a 3 around 2 seconds left, and Baylor got the offensive rebound and didn't score again. So I want to go over stats for the game now. Of course, then I'll go with the schedules. And Indiana did not shoot the ball great, but they shot better than Baylor, 37.5% from the field on 56 attempts, 29.4% on threes on 17 attempts, 86.7% on free throws on 30 attempts. That's a ton of attempts. 42 rebounds, 12 of those offensive, 11 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks, 19 turnovers, 25 fouls, 13 points off the bench, and only 1 double-digit score. And that was Shea from Indiana with 34 points by herself. And she got 12 of those at the free throw line. And they have 4 other players which scored 6 more points in this game. I mean, that combined for 7 plus 7 plus 7, that's 21, plus 8, that's 29. And Baylor only had 24 bench points, which is more than Indiana. But the problem is they didn't score enough. I mean, when you look at it. I mean, they only had like 2 other double-digit scores besides Yaya Felder with 20. And she's played well the last few games. It's just, you got to have more than just her. I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, they only had like two, all three double-digit scores combined for 11 plus 15. That's 26 plus 20. That's 46 points. And only one player that scored 7 more points in this game, 6 more points in this game that had 7. And Sarah Andrews did not have a good game at all. 3 points compared to her last game. And Baylor only made a third of their shots on 63 attempts, 30.4% on threes on 23 attempts, 61.5% on free throws on 26 attempts. Make more free throws, make more shots, get more defensive stops. You might tie this game or even win this game. Point blank. I mean, 41 rebounds, so 16 of those offensive. So they had the chances, it's just they didn't convert enough. 13 assists, 4 steals, 6 blocks, 18 turnovers. That's another thing they got to fix. Is the turnovers was way too much. And 27 fouls. And I want to go over some other stats. So points out turnovers did favor Indiana 12-8. Fast break points favor Baylor 9-3. And points in the paint favor Indiana 32-26. So what these two teams are going for. So Baylor has the loser of North Carolina that's ranked and Villanova. And I happen to think it's going to be Villanova. North Carolina's the better team. But then again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. And then they do have some games that they really should honestly win. I mean, just November 29th, you got New Orleans at home. December 1st, you got Louisiana Tech at home. And I know Louisiana Tech may be 4-2, but I think still it should be a win. I mean, in December 4th, you got Texas Southern. That should be a win. They're winless, just like New Orleans is. And one more game to include is UNLV, December 8th. Of course, then there's a break. And possibly Aliyah Mataru could be available for December 18th, but I can't count on that. But I would definitely think by conference play on the road to Kansas, she could play, if not the second game. So, yeah, they're going to have to fix something and get players healthier as the season goes along. And the best time to peak for a team is in February. So Indiana, they do have potentially like a ranked North Carolina team, if not Villanova, and I think it's going to be North Carolina. We'll see, and that's tomorrow. And December 1st, you do have Maine at home. You do have Southern Indiana at home. December 4th, USI. That's what it stands for, by the way. Yeah, Southern Indiana. That's the next 3 games. Then you got Penn State on the road, December 7th. And then you got December 15th, a home game with Baylor and Maine. So, anyways, if you like this content, hit the like and subscribe button. See you guys later on the road to 7 subscribers. Course ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my money out this course like video. Comment video really helps YouTube algorithm so more people can see it. Sharing the video does help as well, so more people can watch it. If you're watching and not subscribed, hit subscribe button, free notification bell as well. And the crazy thing is, Indiana was not even receiving votes. They have to be receiving some votes now. They have to be. I mean, it just makes too much sense. But will they be ranked? We'll see. And Baylor could be unranked. It wouldn't shock me, but it wouldn't also shock me if they're like 22 through 25. We'll see. It all depends about all the results around the country, though.